day, students. So our second topic under the partnership law is actually the meaning and nature of partnership. So today I'm going to discuss with you all as to how actually a partnership is being formed and what kinds of relationship is being considered as partnership. Okay, if we look at section 47 of the Partnership Act, it says that all rules of equity and common law will be applicable in partnership and shall continue in force except so far as they are inconsistent with the express provision of the Act. This means that the cases from England can be used as long as it's not inconsistent with the Partnership Act. So as I've taught you during your last semester, under the Malaysian legal system, we said that if there is a lacuna in our law, then under that situation, we are going to use the English law. So here, very clearly stated in the Partnership Act that is actually allowed. So furthermore, actually, partnership actually basically is a contract. It's a contract between those partners. So, and I've told you earlier also, when I was introducing you the nature, the types of business in Malaysia, I told you that partnership need to be registered under the Registration of Business Act 1956. So if we look at section 3, subsection 1 of the Partnership Act 1961, so this is actually the definition of partnership. It states that partnership is the relation which subsists between persons carrying on a business in common with a view of profit. If you look at my slide there, I have underlined a few words which actually is important, and these words actually is these are actually the elements of partnership. We can clearly identify there that from the provision of the section 3 of section 3 subsection 1 of the Partnership Act. So, and under section 3 subsection 2 of the said Act, it further states that cooperative societies, registered statutory and chartered companies are excluded from the above definition. This means that all the corporation during your school days, you have school corporations, right? All these are not to be considered as partnership. Because why? Because they have other acts actually, and they are governed by those acts. Okay, so this definition just now under section 3, I have informed you earlier. I told you that there are certain words which I've underlined, and those words actually is very important because those words actually is the element of partnership. So the first word that I underlined is the word relation. So this word relation inside section 3, and section 3 actually, it shows that a partnership actually exists because of contract. This relation actually occur from contract. So from where we said that, how can we say that it arises from a contract? Okay, so because a partnership actually is not a separate legal entity. This is very different from company law. If we look at the case of Wong Peng Yuan versus Senaya K, the judge in that case has said that it's clearly established that an agreement expressed or implied is the source of the relation. So it means that this agreement, whether it's expressed or whether it's implied, this agreement is actually the contract. This is from where the partnership actually occurs. So we said that this partnership can arise from a contractual agreement, whether this agreement is orally or whether it's in writing. If it's orally, we presume it from the conduct of the parties. However, it's being done in writing, then of course it will be much more easier. Okay, we go on. Okay, so sometimes in the partnership agreement, they use other terms. Okay, other terms. So, however, by looking at these terms, we are quite confused whether it's a partnership or not. However, the most important thing is that we need to look at the intention of the parties. So let us have a look at the case of Rana Amal and another was Tan Choso. So this is case involving a partnership actually. So what they did is that they formed a business. They wanted to sell this condensed milk, susu pekat manis, okay? So however, in their agreement, they refer to that, they refer their, so just hold on, they refer, you see the word syndicate there, they refer their relationship as a syndicate. So if you look at the word syndicate there, it seems like it's a gangsterism group, right? However, the court held that by looking at the conduct of parties actually, so this shows that they actually wanted to form a partnership. So meaning from this case, we can say that whatever word is being used, okay, it doesn't matter as long as there is an intention actually to form a partnership. So that's what is being shown in the case. That's what being shown in the case of Ratna Amal. And then just now under section 3, I have underlined the word persons. So if you see the word persons, we can see as there. So if you see as, meaning there is more than one person. So that's why we said that actually, to form a partnership, there must be more than one person. So minimum number is actually 2 persons. However, where does it state that what is the maximum number? So the maximum number is according to section 3 of the Companies Act 2016, whereby under that statute says that if the number exceeded 20%, then under the situation you need to form a company. However, if this is a professional firm, of course you are allowed to exceed the said numbers. So, however, if this is an ordinary partnership, it's actually wrong, okay, to exceed the 20% numbers. This is stated so in the case of Tan Teck Hee versus Cheng Tian Peng. So, okay, and then I also underline the word business. So this is one of the important element under partnership, whereby the business must be in existence. So if let's say the business is for some other purposes, let's say for benevolent purposes, then under that situation, this cannot be said that partnership is in existence. So what kind of business actually? What kind of business actually is said to be a partnership business? So if we look at section 2 of the Partnership Act, it defines business to include every trade, occupation or profession. Okay? So this definition is a very wide definition. It's a very wide definition. So whether we wanted to decide whether this business is a partnership business or not, we need to look at the fact of the case. So let us have a look at the case of Custom and Excise Commissioner versus Lord Fisher, whereby what happened in this case, and this guy, he had invited all his friends, okay, this one during summer, what they did, he invited all his friends to his place there, and he has charged them a certain amount of money because they are going to conduct this prison shoot. Mereka nak menembak burung. So this, you know, this Mat Saleh during summer they do this lah. And the court held actually this is not a partnership business. So like in Malaysia also, so most of us like to go fishing, right? We pay a small amount of money to go for a fishing contest. So this is not a partnership actually. So okay, however in the case of Chitanat Bank was a Chop Howley and Chop Lichun, this is a pawnbroking, kedai pajak gadai, and the court held actually a pawnbroking actually is considered as a business. And the business, the word there is carrying on business. So meaning the business must be an ongoing business. It must be in existing. Okay, and preparation of a business is not considered to be a partnership, meaning the partnership is not formed yet. So let us have a look at the case of Kids Pizza Limited versus Mansell. So what happened in this case? They decided to open a restaurant. Okay, and then the item had already been ordered for the said restaurant. However, at that time when they ordered the said items, the restaurant was not formed yet. So later on, the said goods had already been delivered. However, it was not paid, and that's why now the supplier sued the firm. However, the court held at that time the firm is not in existence, meaning the business is not ongoing. Of course, he lost the case. He cannot sue the business because of this. So here, if he wanted to sue, he need to sue who actually the person who ordered the said goods, who actually the person who entered the contract with with him. Okay. So let's go on. Then we have the word carry on in common. So meaning the intention must be the same. They must have the same visions. Okay. So let's have a look at the case of Chu Si Cheong versus Lucky Heart Development Sdn Bhd. So what happened in this case? One party provide the land, whereas the other party is a housing developer, and this party is the one who are going to develop the land into a housing project. And the court held actually this is not a partnership. Why? Because the intention is not the same. Because the owner of the land, he don't want to become developer. He don't want to develop the housing project on his land. He just provide his land, and of course from providing that land, because he provide his land, he's going to receive certain benefit. That's all. Okay, and he don't want to become partners in the firm. So that's why I said the intention is not the same. And then this is also one of the elements. Of course, the partners, when they get together, what they did is that they did this business because they wanted to get profit. Then only we said that this is a partnership. So in the case of Suhot Bank or School Chino, this is actually a Chinese association whereby they provide loan to their members. When they provide loan, this is to assist their members who wanted to start business, however they don't have money. So the court held actually this is not a partnership. Why? Because the intentions under this situation is not they wanted to gain profit. However, the main intention here is that they wanted to assist their member. So that's why this is not actually a partnership. Okay, and then if mere receipt of profit actually it's not partnership, we have to look whether the profit is a net profit or a gross profit. Okay, so if this is a gross profit, gross returns meaning all incomes received by the said firm. However, those income, the expenditure to that income have not been deducted yet. So this, if they are going to share gross return, then this is not to be considered as partnership. However, if they share the net profit, meaning they are sharing income which has been deducted, the expenditure have been deducted, then only it will be considered as a partnership. So let us have a look in the case of Cox versus Coulson, whereby this is an agreement between a theatre manager. So this theatre manager, he going to provide the theatre, the place where the theatre is going to be held, and the other parties is going to provide the scenery, the actor and the actress. Okay, and then they agree that they will share certain amount of the gross return. And court how actually this actually is not a partnership. As I told you earlier, you must share the net profit. So okay, we have completed with section 3. Sorry guys. So by looking at section 3 alone of the Partnership Act, that is not good enough to determine that actually a partnership is in existence. So meaning we need to read other sections. So apart from section 3, we also have to go to section 4. Okay, then only we can see the clear picture as to whether the partnership is in existence or not. So under section 4 of the Partnership Act, okay, there are certain points under section 4 which is very important. So the first point is that it talks about joint tenancy and tenancy in common, then sharing of gross return, then receipt or share of profit. So let us go on. So the joint tenancy and tenancy in common is now I mentioned to you the first one. This is under section 4A here. So under section 4A it says joint tenancy in common, joint property, common property or part ownership does not of itself create a partnership as to anything so held or owned, whether the tenants or owners do or do not share any profits made by the user of. So meaning, if a person share a piece of land or a person rent a place and they are actually sharing, or they rent out the place and they share from the said rent, they are actually not partners. They are not partners actually. Okay, though they share actually profit from the said property. So this is very clear from section 4A. Okay, so because they are joint owner, this does not make them partnership. So this is regardless of whether such profit obtained is divided among the co-owners or tenants or not. If they divide it equally, they are also not partnership. If they don't divide it more clearly, they are not partnership. Now, unless if there is other circumstances, maybe there is agreement, written agreement showing that actually that is their business. Their business actually is renting out property. They have about 100 property and this is their business. Then under that situation, of course, their business is a partnership business. However, under normal circumstances, okay, this might not be a partnership. So let us have a look in the case of Davis versus Davis. So in Davis versus Davis, this property, 3 property is being inherited by the 2 sons from their late father. So what happens? They have 3 properties. So each of them occupy each of the said property, whereas the 3rd property they rent it out. So from the proceeds of the rent, they receive the rent. So they have made use of the proceeds of the rent to enlarge their workshop. They have workshop business. And the court held actually the 3rd property is not a partnership property. It's just that they inherit it from their father, or their late father. So the most important thing to determine whether a property is a partnership property is not is by looking through the document of title. Okay, we can go to the land office and have a look at the title and see actually who is the owner. So okay, sharing of gross returns, this is under B. So just now also I've discussed with you the case of Fox versus Coulson with regard to sharing of gross returns. And it's very clearly under section 4B, it says here, the sharing of gross returns. I mean the profit which haven't, whereby the expenditure haven't been deducted yet. It says here, the sharing of gross returns does not of itself create a partnership, whether the persons sharing such returns have or have not a joint or common right or interest in any property from which or from the use of which the returns are divided. So that's why I said to you just now, student, just by sharing gross returns, that does not mean that that person is actually a partner in the same business. So I gave example in fact here. So let's say an author, they receive royalty, right? They receive royalty from the books which is being published by the publisher. And the publisher agrees to pay certain amount of money to them as royalty. So will this be considered as partnership? No, it will not be considered as a partnership because they are only sharing gross return. So what is most important thing is sharing of net return. So let us have a look at the case of Cox versus Coulson again. So this case just now I was mentioning to you about the theatre manager who have agreed with this Mr. Mill, whereby the theatre manager, Mr. Coulson, is to provide the theatre, while Mr. Mill, so Mr. Mill is to pay for the theatrical company and scenery for the show. He is supposed to pay for the show, and he's supposed to receive 40%. The court held that actually they are not partnership. Why they are not partnership? Because they are sharing gross return. Okay, so they are not sharing the net profit. So okay, let us go on with receive or share profit. So under section 4C, it says here, the receipt by a person of a share of the profits of business is prima facie evidence that he is a partner in the business. But the receipt of such share or payment contingent on or varying with the profits of business does not of itself make him a partner in the business. So the general rule here says what? If a person receives a share of the profit, of course, prima facie it looks as if he is a partner lah. However, this prima facie evidence can be rebutted, okay, by showing other purposes. So let us look at section 4C. So under section 4C, it lists down the detailed situation whereby by sharing the profit does not mean they are actually partners. So let us have a look at 4CI first, the repayment of loan out of profit. So the receipt by a person of a debt or other liquidated amount by installments or otherwise out of the accruing profits of the business does not of itself make him a partner in the business or liable as such. So let's say I opened up a burger stall, right? So to enable me to open up burger stall, I have obtained a loan from Maybank, let's say. And every month, how I'm supposed to pay the installment? Of course, I will pay the installment through the profit I gain from my burger stall. Does that make Maybank my partners? No, it does not make Maybank my partners. This is what is clearly stated under section 4CI. Okay. So meaning, it's just because the bank lend me money and I pay back the bank from the profit I receive, that does not make both of us partners to my business. Okay, then let's have a look at this case, Badali versus Consolidated Bank, so that the situation will be more clearly to you. So what happened to this case is this: the plaintiff, Mr. Badali, the plaintiff, so this is an appeal case actually. So the plaintiff now advanced money, advanced to see a sum of money for the purpose of constructing a rail transport. So they wanted to build a railway. So that's what Malaysia is doing with regard to ERCL. Yeah. Okay, so they wanted to construct this rail transport. So what did he did? See that what he did is that he assigned some sort like mortgage, some sort like charge. He assigned all the machinery, all the apparatus as security for the said loans. Okay, and how actually he's going to pay the interest of the said loan? He's going to pay the interest of the said loan. 10% of the interest is from the net profit of the business. So does it make the creditor, the person who lends money, as his partner? No. In fact, the court have actually, their relationship is that of a creditor and a debtor, and the creditor is actually a secured creditor because the machine is being charged to the state, is being assigned to the creditor. They are not partners. So their relationship is merely as creditor and debtor. Okay? So okay, let's go on with number 4C number 2, yeah, of 4C. Payment of remuneration to a servant or agent out of profits. Okay. So if an employee is being paid, okay, through the profit of the business of the company, and sometimes at the end of the year, the company will pay bonuses and so on. These are actually the profit of the company. And sometimes they give share, okay, to the employee. This make the employee, the worker, actually the partners of the said business? No, this is very clearly stated under section 4CII. Says here, a contract for the remuneration of a servant or agent of a person engaged in a business by a share of the profits of the business does not make the servant or agent a partner in the business as such. Okay, so if let's say the agent take part in the firm project, and then they share the profit from the project, so they are still actually not partners. They are only an employee. Okay, let us have a look at the case of Walker versus Hitch. What happened in this case? The clerk, employee, is the employee of the plaintiff. He lent money to the employer, and then because he lent money, so how is he going to be repaid? He is going to be repaid by payment of a salary of £180 and 1/8 from the net profit. So he is entitled for 1/8 of the net profit of the said firm. And the court held actually, even though he received profit, okay, he is not a partner, he is only an employee. So we have the case of Chua Kon Seng versus Buchai Sampapong, where it was held that the respondent, he is not a partner. Why he is not a partner? Because the evidence showed that he received salary. Okay, so a salary partner actually is not a partner. So a partner is somebody who's willing to share the risk with the other partners. So meaning, if the firm gain profit, then you are entitled to certain amount of profit. However, if let's say the firm suffer loss, then you are liable to the said loss. If you are being paid, then under that situation, you are actually an employee and you are not a partner. This is very clear. So this is also very clear in the case of Buchai Sampapong, where it's clearly stated here, a salary partner actually is not a partner. Okay, so then let us go on with number 3, 4C number 3. Okay, it says here, payment of annuity to the widow or children of a deceased partner out of profit. Annuity is the payment yearly, sometimes quarterly, okay, it's being paid, okay. And if it's being paid to the widow, ya, dah mati, dibayar pada balu lah, secara berkala, tahun sekali, kadang-kadang 6 bulan sekali. Will this make the widow, or will this make the children of the deceased partner as new partner of the firm? No, this is very clearly under section 4CII says, a person being the widow or child of a deceased partner and receiving by way of annuity a portion of the profits made in the business in which the deceased person was a partner, is not by reason only of such receipt a partner in the business or liable as such. Okay. So sometimes partners, they put it in the provision of their agreement that their children or their widow is entitled to certain amount of payment yearly. Okay, and once it's been put that, this does not mean that once they die, then the wife become a partner, unless it's been clearly stated that the wife now become a partner and going to share the risk with the state business. So let's have a look at the case of RC versus Labus trustees. In this case, the widow of a partner inherits a quarter of the share of the profit of the husband, who is truly a partner in this firm. And the court held actually the widow is actually not a partner. So what about repayment of interest on the loans out of the profit? So under section 4C4 here, it says the advance of money by way of loan to a person engaged or about to engage in any business in a contract with that person, that the lender shall receive a rate of interest varying the profit. You see the word receive a rate of interest varying the profit. So meaning how it's going to be paid. It's going to pay if let's say the profit is more, they're going to pay more. If the profit is less, they're going to pay less, right? So meaning the amount is not certain. Or shall receive a share of the profit arising from carrying on the business does not of itself make the lender a partner with the person carrying on the business or liable as such. It says here, just because this is how payment is being done, the payment varies with the profit, this does not mean that he is a partner. However, the most important thing is that, can you see the word provided here? So meaning it's an exception here. Exception says that the contract is in writing. So meaning if the contract is not in writing and not signed by the other parties, then prima facie he is the partner. So if we say he's not a partner, he's only a creditor, make sure that it's been done in writing and make sure that it is being signed. Because of the section here, the words provided inside the sections. So meaning if a person lends money to a firm and then he receives payments through interest which varies, so if it's not in writing, then under that situation he is actually a partner. So make sure that it is being done in writing, saying that he is only a creditor, so that he won't be liable as a partner. So let's have a look at the case of Young ex parte Jones, whereby in this case A and B actually they entered into a written contract whereby A lent money to B for B's business, for B business, and in return A is entitled due to the continuance of the agreement to draw a £3 profit every week. So in this situation, the court held he is not a partner. Why? Because it's been done in writing and he signs it. So if it's not done in writing, then maybe prima facie he is a partner. So what about sale of goodwill? Nama baik, okay? So like KFC, actually KFC Malaysia and KFC in US is not the same. So what they are doing, they are only selling the goodwill to KFC Malaysia, and actually they need to pay the goodwill. Kena bayar untuk nama baik yang digunakan tersebut. So does this mean that KFC Malaysia and KFC US, they are partners? No. If you read section 4C number 5, a person receiving by way of annuity or otherwise, sometimes they pay annually, every year once, or maybe every month or quarterly, doesn't matter. So it says here, a person receiving by way of annuity or otherwise a portion of the profits of a business in consideration of the sale by him of the goodwill of the business is not. So meaning he just received that amount of money because he's paying for the goodwill. This does not mean that outside receive a partner in the business or liable as such. Okay? So let's have a look at the case of Pratt versus Street. So in Pratt versus Street, this is a doctor. So the doctor sell off his clinic and at the same time he has agreed. He sell off his clinic, jual clinic, dan pada masa yang sama dia bersetuju that he will generate goodwill. He will assist these new doctors, okay, for a period of time, okay, and in return to assist so that the business can generate income and he will receive profit. And court held actually they are actually not partners. Okay, they are not partners. So, okay, students. So we have go through section 3, we have go through section 4. So just now I said, by looking at section 3, that is not good enough. We need to go on, we need to go through section 4. Does it mean that section 4 is conclusive? Is it exhaustive? Okay, fine. If all these criteria in section 4 is being fulfilled, you said that this is not a partnership or this is a partnership. Is it so? No. What we need to do is that we must consider all the circumstances of the case, the surrounding of the case. We need to read the written agreement and the conduct of the parties to determine whether a partnership exists or not. The most important thing is the intention of the parties. This is the more important thing actually to determine a partnership exists or not. So that's why just now we have gone through the case of Rana Amal. So in Rana Amal, they use the word syndicate. Okay? So they did not use the word partnership agreement. However, the court held from the conduct of the parties, it shows that this is a partnership. So in the Higgins and Fraser, in the book of law of partnership in Australia and New Zealand, so it has been stated here, whether in the absence of an express agreement, a partnership contract can be inferred from the conduct of the parties is purely a question of fact, depending upon the joint and not the individual intention. So the most important thing, student, is the joint intention, not the individual intention. By looking at the conduct of all parties, what are actually their intention, whether they wanted to form a partnership or not. So how are we going to determine this? Is by an examination of the private intention of each party, but is to be ascertained by inference from their conduct. By looking at each party, what is their intention, and then from their conduct, we are going to infer actually from their actions by looking at the whole course of dealing. Saya tengok semuanya sekali, sebenarnya apakah niat sebenar pihak-pihak tersebut. So that's why, children, in the case of this will be our last case today, okay? On the case of Au Yong Wai Chu versus Ari Trading Sdn Bhd and another, the court held that to find the existence of the partnership, untuk mencari sama ada partnership itu wujud ataupun tidak, yang paling penting, the court must find the real intention. What is the real intention? Apakah niat sebenar pihak-pihak? So, not necessarily the express intention. Bukanlah niat yang dizahirkan. So, meaning not just by looking on the agreement. Yeah. However, court will decide after considering all relevant factors together. Tapi setelah melihat semua faktor yang mengelilingi kes tersebut, then only we can say whether a partnership exists or not. Okay, student, that's all for today. The conclusion of section 3 and section 4. So I'll see you on the next chapter. Thank you, student. Bye-bye.